Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I am Conrad. This is the 45. We're going to take a look back at what happened this weekend. 5 things we learned and 5 ridiculous storylines that have emerged as a result of what happened over the weekend. First up, Bielsa and Mourinho. There is a divergence of storyline here. They're holding up Bielsa as the greatest thing ever and asking if Mourinho is, at the same time, still the special one.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Neither of them got victories on match day one. One got against the defending champions, the other against their Merseyside partners, Everton. Both had flaws to their performances. Leeds a much more exciting match versus the dull, drab style that Mourinho brings to Spurs. And that probably does contribute to 2 different media narratives. I don't believe that you can really draw definitive results from this first match day. I think Spurs will still improve. I obviously still have them in 3rd place. I have not lost faith just yet.
One match.
And people compared Leeds' first match as champions of the championship compared to Norwich last season, who also went to Anfield, lost 4-1 as opposed to 4-3. They created less chances based on XG and conceded more chances based on XGA. So to immediately say that they changed the way football narrative will ever be is a bit of a rush. There's a lot of still flaws to Leeds' game. Not saying that they're going to be bad or get relegated now. Just like Spurs aren't going to necessarily miss out on the top 6 or the top half of the table. But we do love some overreactions.
Yeah, and the statement here is Marcelo Bielsa transforms Anfield into a delirious dreamscape. This is Guardian. Leeds went toe-to-toe with the champions in a majestic opening half hour that broke all the rules of football as we know it. The game was bonkers, right? It broke no rules. It was just a wide-open, exciting, fun football match to watch.
A bit ahead of ourselves there.
And Mourinho is a phenomenal manager. Far more decorated. He has more trophies total
25
in his own
18.
career than Spurs have in their entire history.
Yes.
That's crazy. Second up, Reece James, speaking of overreactions, best English right back.
He is very, very good. Scored a banger of a goal to equalize or to take the lead back for Chelsea, and then assisted the 3rd goal to Zuma. He's very good. I think he goes often underrated because England has a plethora of right backs. You look at him, you compare him to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Kyle Walker are all guys who arguably are ahead of him in the pecking order for England. But he is rapidly developing. He's 20 years old, turns 21 in December. I think of him, if you mashed the attacking output of Trent minus a little bit and the defensive output of Wan-Bissaka minus a little bit and put them together at 20, he is an amalgam of just so much overall raw talent. I can't wait to see him continue to develop. Is he England's best right back yet? No, that's complete clickbait.
I think, if Alexander-Arnold ended up moving into the midfield, it'll clear up space for him to move into that right back position in the national team. I think that's clearly how I think that's going to go. Next up, Sheffield United versus Wolves. Are Sheffield going to get relegated? No. Remember, Wolves are really good. They scored 2 goals in 6 minutes.
Yeah. That was a very interesting match there. Obviously, Sheffield United have had a lot of rapid progression over the last 5 years, especially over the last 4 under Chris Wilder. But there's no reason for them to really have massive panic after conceding 2 early goals. Wolves, as you mentioned, are a very, very good side. And Sheffield United still are overperformed massively last season, so they won't be falling too far down back to reality. But I think this showed that Wolves are a very good sign, giving Nuno a new contract. And I do love to try and threaten Sheffield United with relegation. I've wanted them to go down for so long, apparently. But no, there's no real concerns there.
No, I think it's just early jitters, and Wolves just stomped on it right away. I mean, that was a great start.
Very good performance from the beginning for them.
Virgil Van Dijk is clearly on the decline.
So that's a disgrace. Worst center back on the planet. Most errors leading to goals out of anyone in the Premier League since the start of last season. Clearly, Liverpool need to move on from him as their number 1 choice center back because he's just past it. It is interesting, though. A guy who is as imperious and as dominant as Van Dijk has made these human-like errors. And it's just fascinating that they bring him down to earth, where he was at this galactic level in 2018-19. And now we're beginning to see, he can make the occasional mistake. And that is acceptable. But I think one thing it does show is Liverpool need to push him for competition for places. It's been 2.5 years now that he's had nobody riding him to try and push him even further. And he's only human, as we've seen.
Joe Gomez, Dan Lovren, Joel Matip.
Not exactly the world beaters you want back there.
All right, next up and last, Arsenal, top of the league. They're really good. They look fantastic. They're very creative. Defensively, a little bit better, but Fulham.
I believe there is they Premier League has decided if the season has to be canceled again because of coronavirus, whoever's top just wins the title. So Arsenal hope for a massive outbreak in the next 4 days, and then you're champions of England again after one match. But no, they were very good overall. I think Aubameyang continued to show that he's a great leader for them. Arteta, I think they got them going in the right direction. Gabriel getting a goal on his debut. Willian 2 assists on his debut. Fulham aren't hopeless. I think they've got a lot of promise. They just got to eliminate those defensive errors, and you'll be okay.
That'll do it for overreaction to the Premier League weekend. Jack, Conrad, this has been the 45. Please like, subscribe, give us some comments, tell us what you think, and take a look for us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.